TikToker claims to suffer from time blindness and blasts employers who make employees come on time. This is not satire.
I was about to say, this gotta be a joke.
Here we go.
So I just got yelled at for asking a very reasonable question. So I'm applying to go somewhere, and I just wanted to know, are there accommodations for people who struggle with time blindness and being on time?
What?
You know. And then the person I was with interrupted and acted like I was asking something else, and then when we were done, they actually started yelling at me and saying that accommodations for time blindness
crying?
exist, and if you struggle with being on time, you'll never be able to get a job, you know, provided you're trying your absolute best to be there. And then they're like, your stupid generation wants to destroy the workplace. And yeah, I think that a culture where workers are just cut off because they struggle with being on time, when there's other solutions that we can look to, I think that just anybody who thinks it's okay to just treat people like that, yeah, that culture needs to be dismantled. And then I asked that person, how can you feel good about yourself upholding this kind of system? And then to think I'm entitled. No, if people think it's okay to treat others like this, that's entitlement.
We're building the most weakest, saddest, entitled, ridiculous generation coming up.
You mean you never suffered from time blindness? I've been time blind a few times, but I don't suffer from it as bad as she did.
Not as bad as her. So how did you go to school every day for your whole life? You missed all of those?
We've said this before, but the dumbest minds and the weakest people now have a voice.
Yeah. The weakest minds are able to just speak their truth, whatever that is.
Back in the olden days, before the internet, if you had schizophrenia or were going through a manic episode or were mentally ill, you were just mentally ill in the confines of your own house. So your parents would put you in the motherfucking padded room and you could beat yourself up and it was no harm, no foul, only you're fucking yourself up.
But now you got an iPhone that you can broadcast to millions.
Now you got an iPhone and you're live streaming. So you start saying shit like this. Time blindness, the generations after are only gonna get worse. Unless there's some sort of crazy cultural reset, which I don't think is gonna happen.
I talked to one of my cousins who's 16 like a couple weeks ago. And I was like, yo, what's school like? You're a sophomore, like what is it like there? He's like, well, I mean, we got photomath, so you can just do your homework on this. We have ChatGPT and the teachers have no rules, blah, blah, blah. Is it really just up to you if you wanna learn? He's like, yeah, he's like, it's literally up to the student to apply themselves this point in high school, middle school to just get work done. I would say, what would you say the majority is actually applying themselves? He's like, probably 2%. That's coming from an actual 16-year-old where he's seeing that already. Just, yeah, you can just get by really lazily and easily and don't actually have to put in any ounce of effort. You're learning things by going to school in the morning to that. You're learning bits and pieces here. Obviously not everything you want to do in school is fun, but what happens when you need to actually go get your own job, make your own money? Okay, you don't care about school, but like you didn't ever care about anything. So how are you supposed to even care about a job now if you didn't even care about doing basic homework?
These people, they reap what they sow. I think it's the fault of the adults who are in charge of the system.
A little kid that just wants to eat cake all day, I just want to eat cake all day. It's up to somebody of higher power or authority to know you can have cake once a week, you can have cake after da-da-da. You have to have a structure set in place.
I hated math homework, but I'm grateful that I actually ended up finishing my school because now I know if I need to find 15% of 7,500, I know how to do that. The foundations of your education are so important, and the fact that it's now being abandoned.
You have 50 teachers in a school of 2,000 children, and none of the children are trying to pay attention or listen to you at the auditorium. It's, you know what? Y'all can just sit here.
Just do whatever you want.
I mean, because Lord have mercy, I couldn't do it these days.
She'll reap what she sows by time blindness. Blah. Ma'am, you're gonna be broke. I'm sorry. Ain't nobody listening to that shit. Time blindness? No, ma'am, you're fired.
That's it.
The end. And you go sit here crying, looking for sympathy points on your fucking TikTok.
You think because teachers don't get paid anything, that's another reason? Like, after all these kids yelling at me and shit, you're like,
it ain't worth it.
I ain't doing that.
I would say so.
Let's say they actually pump more money into that. Would kids then listen to teachers like, oh wait, I could become a teacher one day because they getting banged? They're seeing every way possible but a 9-to-5 on how you can make it. Even when you're in elementary, middle school, you're saying, oh, YouTubers, streamers, drop shipping, e-commerce. You're just seeing all these things that don't require to be at a job. And I just can't imagine the influence on that. And then the teachers themselves are like, yeah, I ain't got time.
I have never met anyone in my random life, whatever, who said, I aspire to be a teacher.
Never. And the only ones that I did, it's a small amount.
Yeah, there's a small niche of people who have wanted to be teachers their whole lives, and that's a very noble thing. But I knew someone who I went to school with who became a teacher like by default, with nothing else to do, and became a teacher. And I was like, imagine a generation of kids who wanted to be teachers. They would make great teachers because they cared about it, they had passion and heart in their career, and they cared about their job field. But now, the only people that are gonna gonna be teachers are people who fall into it by, well, I don't have nothing else to do and I need something to pay the bills. So now you've got a bunch of people who are teaching the future of America who don't even give a fuck about their job, and what is that gonna produce?
The kids that don't give a fuck about education.
And then you got kids talking about time blindness. In a way, this is natural selection.
When you're in school, it's up to you. Okay, I actually do need to do my homework. I do need to learn. It's gonna be up to the individuals at this point. They're gonna reap all the consequences after high school if they don't actually apply themselves early.
I've found that throwing yourself a pity party and being like a victim.
It's easier than just show up on time.
Yeah,
it's so much easier.
Being the type of person who goes to scapegoats and, well, I'm losing in life because of this and because of that system and because of time blindness and discriminate, like all those things, that those people who do that always lose in life. All those excuses just result in them losing.
Yep.
Whereas anyone who's like fights through adversity, I know so many people who came from nothing and were determined to succeed despite all their handicaps, whatever, and they win. Life is the most fair and unfair thing at the same time. There can be things that happen to all of us that are unfair, but if you actually work really hard and put your all into something and are resourceful and everything, you'll get stuff out of that. Like life really does
Reward you.
It rewards people with what they deserve, and if they don't deserve shit, it doesn't give you shit.
Yeah, like if I don't work out all day, every day, my body would just do nothing. But if I actually did some push-ups every single day, then my body's gonna reward it based off that. There's still a reward for every action you put in.
Life gives you exactly what you deserve.
And if you want to sit here and just cry about this all day and just be the girl that just does that on TikTok and has a series about time blindness, well then yeah, you're just gonna be that.
Accommodate me, I have anxiety and I do this and that.
It's annoying though because I hate when I see videos like this and there's people that actually suffer with probably some actual chemical imbalances. I know you throw her into the mix and then you're giving people that actually don't have time blindness like, actually yeah, I got that too. Hey, yeah, I can't come in tomorrow because I don't know how to wake up on time. There's actual people that are like probably gonna be like, fuck it. If she's complaining, I'm gonna complain with her. But look what that's doing is, like you said, the schizophrenia kid now has an iPhone and now you're people that probably don't have schizophrenia. No, I'm like that too. Like
when victimhood is the new currency, there's no limit to where people will start thinking up new shit. I'm trying to think of all the victim sort of infinity stones that people collect. First, it was like race. I'm a minority, so that means I have a harder time than everyone. Then the gays were like, being gay is like the worst. Like, bro, we have it so bad. And then it was, I have anxiety and I'm depressed. And then it's, well, I'm all the different genders and this and that and we're oppressed. And now it's, they're making up new things.
Yeah, there's time blindness.
Now it's time blindness.
You can just pull anything out of thin air and say you have that problem.
I have a new problem that I can complain about, and this will justify why I'm not successful in my life. It's because it's somebody else's systematic problem. I'm a victim and woe is me and I have to cry now. As opposed to, hey, maybe I'm just a lazy piece of shit that needs to get their shit together.
You'd rather cry about not fixing it than fixing it.
Well, what's easier? Crying and moaning about your problems or actually fixing them? It's a lot easier just to complain.
That shows you how hard it is for her to actually just set a reminder, go to sleep a little earlier, leave a little earlier, wake up a little earlier. She can't even set a structure for herself. She's just gonna blame it on, I can't help it.
If she was from a less fortunate area, let's say, I don't know, a really impoverished nation, if she was the only person who could provide herself food, like if her parents weren't giving her food and meals and transportation, her time blindness would vanish because she's like, I'm fucking hungry. I need to make $5 to eat something. And you'd be showing up to your job or the field or whatever place you gotta go to make money.
She got her octopus in the back, she's comfortable, she got a full house, she can take her time.
The neon lights in the background.
Her parents are actually bringing the money, so she's just like, ah.
You know how many motherfucking poor Somalian people
That are hustling to just find some water.
You think they have time blindness? No, they don't.
Time is of the essence.
These things only happen in affluent nations like the US, so.
Yeah, you tend to forget how privileged we are over here, and then we just make up things that like nobody else has ever worried about. That's why I try to stay off TikTok and like, holy crap, this girl just over here.
Bro, this shit really only exists on the internet.
Anybody should go to their job tomorrow and just come in late and say, I had time blindness.
Time blindness.
Probably won't get that job. I couldn't see the clock. I can't feel time. I felt early, I don't know.
I'm thinking about the implications of that. Time blindness. You can see. No, ma'am, look at the clock.
Your phone that has these 3 numbers to 4 sometimes, you know, that right there lets you know. Yeah,
I
but
can't see it.
time blindness is a big band-aid for lazy, and I can't do it.
I can see my TikTok screen and I can post and upload and cry,
I know I can go over a minute on here.
but I don't know about the clocks and clocking in for work. Save yourselves. I'm blind. Where the camera at?